Okay, it's nice to be back and see everybody. Stein Amid Aleph and Masechta Nazir. We're on to the Mishnah. Okay, please excuse me. I am very, very tired. So, Amma Hareini Nazir. A person says Hareini Nazir. Now Achas Gedoyla. He says, "Behold, I am a small Nazir." Hareini Nazir Achas Katana. Behold, I am Gedoyla is a large Nazir. Hareini Achas Nazir Katana, a small one. I feel me kanvat seif oilam. In the third case, even he says I'm a nazir from now until the end of the world. Nazir shloishim yom. He's only a nazir what for 30 days. He's only a nazir what for 30 days. Of course, we're going to see in the Gemara what does he mean by gedola katana. He meant that for to me it's like a gedola, to me it's like a katana, but he only wants to be mekabel in the zirusvad of 30 days. That's all he wants to. Let's see the Taisus here. Third Taisus down. How many knows achas katana claimar? Loishna doesn't make a difference. Kiyama gedola. For loishna kiyama katana. Afilu amami can be at sleifa oilam. That's what we need, guys. And even if he says from now until the end of the world, like having nazar elishleishim yoim. Ugedola kamar. When he said gedola, what did he mean? Claimar. God will lie on naziris. It's very hard on me. The tricha lie. Or like katana. What does katana mean? Claimar. Like tricha like kluhai. It's no big deal. Now that's the third case. The tricha varicha milsa. It's very troubling for me in the length of time. Kiman, as if that seif oilam traveling to the end of the world. That's what it says. Okay, it's a very easy Mishnah with very hard Gemara. So no, the first two cases are pretty straightforward. The case of Nazir Achas Katana, as we said, it's hard for me, or Gedola, it's very easy for me. And the last one, it's very difficult for me, as if traveling from now, but it's until the end of the world, but it's only going to be Shleishim Yom. Amai. Why is it only 30 days? Right? He's saying from now, right? So therefore he should be a Nazir Olam. Guys, in other words, we mentioned that Avshalom was a Nazir Olam, Shmuel was a Nazir Olam. They shaved the hair once a year, right? They shave the hair once a year, so it should be a nazir oilam. Now, it could be a nazir oilam, and it means a nazir for the rest of his life. In other words, there really is, there. Of course, you know I'm saying share, right? Of course. Impeccable timing. Okay. Anyway, hey Fitz, how you doing? Anyway, okay. Anyway. Anyway, this we can have a different type of Nazirus Olam. It could be one of three quick cases, guys. This is what it could be. It could be the classic Nazir Olam, which is what, like Avshalom, or it means you'd be a Nazir Olam, but your length in Naziris is until what? Until the end of time, but you wouldn't go ahead and. In other words, you'd be a Nazir Shimshon that would not be able to Matam Lamesim. You would have all the chumras. Or, as we're going to see this, a constant Nazir. Every 30 days, take a haircut. Every 30 days, take a haircut. So the Gemara's kasha over here is the chayri. You should be what? You should be a Nazir Olam. The Gemara's kasha apparently over here is that you should be a Nazir Olam. Since he said Mikan Bat Sefer Olam, right? It should be what, a Nazir, right? It should be a nazir forever. So Hachi Kamar Gemara says, Arichali Hadon Nilsa, it's difficult to me, this being a nazir, Kimi Kanvat Sleifa Olam. So his kavan is not to makabel on himself in the ziris till the end of time, but as it means to travel to this great length, that's how difficult it's upon me. So that's the way to answer that when it says that. Therefore, it's Shleishim Yom. So we have Gedola, Katana, and Sleifa Olam, and it means what? It means to the end of time. Now we're going to ask a kasha from the Mishnah tomorrow's daf. But Tanan, we learned tomorrow's daf. Hareini nazar mikan. I'm a nazar from here ad makom ploni until makom ploni. I'm a nazar mikan from here ad makom ploni till it takes the travel to such and such a place. So oimdim, we go ahead and we evaluate kama yomim, how many days it would take mikan va'amakom ploni, right? So pachas, if it would take less than 30 days, Shleishim Yoim, Nazir Shleishim Yoim. Vim lav, but if it would take more than 30 days, then Keminyan Ayomim, it will be according to the amount of time it takes that distance, right? Guys, it should be, so let's say it would take him 40 days, it is 40 days, 50 days, 50 days. Good. So less than 30, again, Ein Nazir is Pachas Mishloshim. Anything more of whatever that amount of days is, it would be, that's the Nazirs. Now, the Gemara of the Mishnah Daf Ches Mishnah. Why don't we say the same thing over here? Until at Seif Oilam means in time, and L'chari he'd be a Nazir, right? He'd be a Nazir forever. Why don't we say the same svara on the Mishnah Daf Ches? Arichli Hamilsa Kiman V'Amakam Pliny. That it's hard for me, the Naziris, that span. So the same span now at Seifa Olam, that same span would be from now for me to go to that place. Why don't we say that? So Amarava, you know what we're speaking about? He went ahead and he started out on the derech. He went ahead and he started on the derech. Says Taisvis. Let's see the Taisvis. Last Taisvis on the page. Right. Pirish. Lagora mikabel naziris yemechad. Davinasa shleishim yoim. V'mav havinasa kimana yomim. Oimem. Oinon yomim. V'mai hachanami neima richli milsa kimikan b'ad makam pliny. L'yeh elalamid yoim. It should only be 30 days. V'afilu hoyanun yom. Even it would take him 50 days to travel ad makam pliny. Umeshani in the Gemara answers kishehichzik b'derech. Guys, listen to very interesting svara. The kibul alav, the mistama, if they ain't say haderech, because of the dangers and the travails of travel, kibul alav naziris lahinatzel misakonas haderech, to save him from the zakona of the way, right? Lisach mehalach hayomim, to the amount of time ad makan pliny. So it's a very, very beautiful pshat. We're touching up this guy. We're touching. What does this guy mean? We're touching up. What does this guy mean? Okay. So now he is Makabel Naziris. We don't know how to touch it up. Correct? We don't know how to touch up the Naziris. The Rosh says over here, when we don't know how to touch it up, right? Then since we can touch up his dibur in a certain way, right? We'll be makel. So for example, in the case that from our Mishnah, I'm a Nazir at Soif Olam. I could touch it, I'm a Nazir forever, or I could touch it up. It's as difficult to me this Naziris as to travel out of Olam. Good. Says the we had this Yisoy that even though Stam Nedorim ala Hachmer, Stam Naziris is the Hako. Probably because you're going to bring Karbanis, fellas. And as a suffix, you don't want to bring Karbanis in the Azara. It's a terrible thing. So therefore, Stam Naziris were makel. So if I can touch up this nether in the most lenient way possible, I will. So over here, the Gemara is asking a kasha. Why do you opt to go ahead and touch it up in the most severe way and say it's for 50 days or 60 days? Why don't we touch it up? What does he mean? Right? It's a sphere to me, my Naziris, as it takes to walk that distance. The same way we said in the Mishnah, it's the same way to travel till the end of Ad Olam, right? That'd be a beautiful way to be Masber Akasha. What's the teretz? The teretz is a strong svara to say, you know why he said that distance? You know why? Because he feels that the priestess of Kedusha will be matzel him from any danger that might present itself on the amount of time. So certainly wants to be protected in that period of time. So therefore, that's a very, very strong haichacha. That's what he meant rather than 30 days. That's what he meant rather than 30 days. That would be a very good way to touch up the Gemara. Okay, so what the difference between our Mishnah and the Mishnah on Daf Ches that says until this days, the difference is that he started out on the derech, and there's a svara to say that. Now, the next piece of Gemara, it's very interesting. My last time I have it around, I learned Taisvis. I'm switching around to Rosh. Taisvis learns it's going back on our Mishnah. The Rosh learns it's going on the Mishnah Daf Ches. In other words, Taisus learns it's going. I don't know why I'm telling you this. This is not doing Taisus. I'm telling you anyway. Taisus says, right, it's going on the Mishnah of at Seif Olam, and the Rosh says it's going on Kama Yomim. It takes me to go until Makan Pliny. So we're going to go with the Rosh's pshat. How many days it takes to me to get to what to Makan Pliny? Sfred Gemara, Ulahave, right? Ulahave called Parsa Uparsa, right? It should be that every step I take, right? It should be every step. It should be every step I take that it should go ahead and be a Nazir. In other words, he would be the amount of Naziris of every single step.
Every step is 30 days.
Every step will be 30 days, right? A parsa is not a step. Parsa is like 2,000. Yeah, parsa is The mill is 2,000. I think it's 3 mil or something like that. I forgot 2 mil, but a parsa. So why do you divvy it up into kama yomim till I get to a certain place? Why don't you say kama parsais? Why don't we say that? That's again the Ran is the Rosh is learning. It's going on that, guys. Says the Gemara. Right? Says the Gemara. You know why you can't say that? Because it's speaking about a place that they didn't measure with parsais. It's speaking about a place where they did not go ahead and measure with parsais. Since they didn't measure with parsais, Amra Papa says Papa Basud loy money parsa. It's a place where they didn't count with parsa. Fedmor Habi called Avna of Avna. Each pit stop, each place they would stay at night. Let's count that. Each says Gemara, Milay Tanan, did we not learn? Hareini Nazir, again, this is the same Mishnah in Daf Ches. Hareini Nazir, Ke'afa Haaretz, Ukiseya Roishi, Ukichol Hayom. I should be a Nazir like the offer of the Aretz, which you can't count. Ukiseya Roishi, which you can't count, the amount of hair on your head. Ukichol Hayom, and like the sand of the sea. How he's a Nazir Oilam. He's like a Nazir Oilam. Now, what kind of Nazir Oilam, guys? Umegaleach echad l'shleishim yoim. And he goes ahead, right? And he does this for every about 30 days. This is again, so this is not the Avshalom Naziris Oilam. This is a constant renewal of Naziris. So Freg the Gemara Kasha now. You're telling me that going on that Mishnah, that if a person goes out on the derech and he says, I should be a Nazir until I reach a certain place, he wants to be protected at a certain place. Good? So you opted to make the denomination of days. Why do you make it dependent upon parsa? Okay, parsa, they don't use that as a measurement. What about the stops you make along the way, the avna, the places you stay at night? Why days? Right? And why should you do that? And why should you do that? Is that we see that the Mishnah also we extend the time based upon here, or we say you're a Nazir. So therefore, if you make kol avna va'avna, you will be a Nazir based upon each avna. So the question is, what's the difference between that and us? What's the difference between that and us? And the Gemara answers, I'll tell you what the difference is what? Kol milsa de ispe kitsusa loikatani. I think that kol milsa de ispe kitsusa loikatani. Anything that has a set amount, loikatani. That Mishnah that is describing that Mishnah, an avna is a set amount. You know how many places you're going to stop. That Mishnah that says you're going to be a Nazir for the rest of your life, every 30 days, is speaking about something that doesn't have kitsusa. There's no amount, even here on the head. It is an amount, but it's not something you can count. And certainly the same thing, the sand of the sea, and the uff of the aretz. Masha'en kain, the avna, the places which are places you could count, then you'll say your nazir is for. That's why days are countable, and therefore we'll go after days. But Tanya is a proof, guys. But Tanya is a proof. Hareini Nazir kol yemei. I'm bringing a proof, right? Hareini Nazir kol yemei chayai. So Hareini Nazir olam. If a guy says, I'm a Nazir all the days of my life, or I'm a Nazir forever, Hareini Nazir olam. He's a Nazir like Avshalom. He's a Nazir like Avshalom, right? Afilu meya shana, afilu elv shanim, right? He says, right, and so therefore, why? Because there's no kitsusa for you say the days of your life. There's no kitsusa or a Nazir olam. However, let's say he says, I'm meya shana, elv shanim. He'll never live 100 years, and he'll never live 1,000 years. Then ein ze Nazir olam. As an Nazir le'olam, then it's something does not have kitsusa, and then he won't be a Nazir shimsha, a Nazir like olam. He'll be a Nazir le'olam. He'll be a Nazir forever, meaning he'll never be able to take a haircut. Period. What's the difference? What's the raya? The raya is chaye. All the days of my life is not a davar kitsusa. When you give it a number, even though you can't attain that number, such as 1,000, 100, once you give that number, then it's going to be till that number, and basically you're a Nazir forever. So where it has a kitsusa, you're going to go ahead. When it has a kitsusa, when it doesn't have a kitsusa, you're going to say it's a Nazir olam. When it has a kitsusa, then we'll break it up into the denominations of whatever that amount is. Rabbi says, you want to know the difference between Our Mishnah of that Mishnah with the here and our Mishnah of Yamim and the Mishnah of Yamim is Hoyel Muvdolas Mizu, right? By there they're separate entities. So since they're separate entities, we'll say he's a Nazir every 30 days. In other words, every entity is a Nazir. But about days, but Mashen Kain days, you don't have that division. Humanami, right? Haksiv Vayer Vayvoka Yom Echad. So it is divided up. Just like here is divisible, and you're saying it's a Nazir on each division, so too by day, let's say the day is a divisible and night is another divisible. And that says, it's by day and night, it's not one hafsaka. My comma, what do you say? Yom v'layla chad yumahu. By Erev v'yivoka yom echad, right? The Yom Erev v'yivoka is considered Yom Echad. As a matter of fact, one of the first Rashis in the Torah says by Erev v'yivoka Yom Echad. Why doesn't it say Yom Rishon? Right? It says Yom Echad. So the Ramban, famous Rashi, Hashem was alone that day. Malachim were only created day two. Ramban says by Erev was Erev, the amount of time for Erev. By Yevoka, the amount of V'yoka Yom Echad, which equals one day. So that goof, that goof is what it's teaching me. That is one entity. So therefore, don't say it's divisible. There's an Erev part and the V'yoka part. It's not like here, which is divisible one from the other. One day is both. So and there's no hafsaka. Okay, now, so that was the teretz, guys, to answer the Mishnayos. That was the difference between the Mishnah regarding here and the Mishnah regarding days, the Mishnah Ches. Why by day we say that you're a Nazir for that period of time or day, be it 40 days, 50 days, and why by here are you a Nazir every 30 days, right? So we gave a teretz that Kitsusa ain't no Kitsusa. What was the original question? The original question was from Mishnah Daf Ches to our Mishnah. What's the difference between Seifa Olam and the amount of days it travels? Correct. So we answered it was Machzik B'derech. Correct. That was one way. Guys, good. So now Rav is coming to answer that original question. In the mechanics of the Gemara, we kind of asked on the teretz of Rava. In other words, we asked the Mishnah on Ches to the Mishnah on Ches. The original question was the Mishnah of Ches, right? The Mishnah on Ches that in our Mishnah. What's the difference over there? It says days, and it's only for X amount of days. And I'm Mishnah where it's only 30 days, correct? Where it says Asayf Oilam. So Rabbi says it's not even a question of goodness. Rabbi Omar, Lamali actually, what's the kasha? Kuli high, shiny hasam. It's different. It should be shiny hacha, guys. Shiny hacha, diktani hareini nazar achas. Look at the Mishnah. Our Mishnah. Omar hareini nazar achas, achas gedayla, hareini nazar achas katana. You read it that way, right? So why does he say the word achas, nazar achas? What does he mean? 30 days. So no, as we say in Yiddish, the kasha fank nishtan. It doesn't begin, right? What's your kasha? Why by there it says I'm a nazir till I reach a certain place and we're going to give it the days, and over here where it says I'm a nazir at Seif Oilam till I reach the end of the world, where you're saying it's a nazir for 30 days. Because I'm to say I'm a nazir achas, I'm a nazir achas, one nazirus, which is 30 days. Geschmack, plain pashut. Okay, so we have the Gemara. Okay, the rest of the Gemara is very, very. This was the harder part. The rest of the part is pretty glad. Hareni nazir v'yoy mechad. Person says I'm a nazir v'yoy mechad and one day. Hareni Nazir v'sha achas. I'm a Nazir and 1 hour. Hareni Nazir achas u'mechza. I'm a Nazir and 1.5, meaning 15 days, which is Kostam Nazir Shleshim Yoim. Harizeh Nazir Shtayim. It's 2 Naziris, guys. Over there, it'll be what? It'll be 2 Naziris. He's like he's makabel 2 Naziris. And Stam Nazir Shleshim Yoim. Okay. Says the Gemara. Lamali lemisni kolhani. Why do you have to tell me 1 day, 1 hour, and one half in the series? Says Gemara Tzricha. Ditan ereni nazar v'yoy mechad. Hachu daminan ein naziris le'yim mechad. Therefore, we say there's no naziris for 1 day. Abtulachi kamani tartan. Right? I'll go ahead and count 2. I've already nazir b'sha'achas. But when I say I'm a nazir b'sha'achas limni lamed ve'echad yoyim, count 31 days. Guys, if I say the following. I should be a nazir for a day. Doesn't mean anything, right? But if I'm nazir 30 days and an hour, so the hour could be part of a day. So I understand why you can't be 30 and a day, but 30 and an hour, I would say means 31 days. Kamash Malon, that's a complete Naziris. Love it base. Kamash Malon, it's a complete Naziris. The itana sha'achas. And if you would learn the second case, I'm a nazir for 1 day, I'm an achas, mishum deloy nachis ledafka. It's not exact, right? It's there's no such thing as nazirus l'shois, so it's not exact. So I'll extend it 30 days. Avalachos u'mechza the nachos ledafka, where you give me a very specific period of time. Ema loy limni tarti. I would say don't count 2 full nazirus, count 45 days, 1 of 30 and 1 of and 115, which is half of 30. So count 45. Therefore it says Kamash Malon, Kulay Nazir Shtayim. Kamash Malon, that each one was what you were making 2 naziris. Okay, now as our Mishnah before said, when we just did, it says Harini Nazir v'yom echad. Here he says Harini Nazir shloishim yoyim v'shah achas. Now, who adin, if you would have said Harini Nazir shloishim yoyim v'yom echad, who adin, it would be the same din. But he says over here, he's mentioning in the previous Mishnah, he just said Nazir v'yom echad. Here he's saying I'm 30 days and plus. Now it's going to diminish the naziris, the amount of naziris. Then he'd be at 31 days. Shein naziris l'shais is not naziris l'shais. Okay, before again the meant it's loynachos the dafka. So therefore it was what it was. It was a whole day, a whole naziris. Okay, Omar Rav says Rav loishanu el doma shloishim ve'echad yoyim. 31 days. Aval Omar shloishim yoyim v'yom echad. If you break it up, shloishim yoyim v'yom echad, then nazir shtayim. Okay, that's by saying the word yoyim. That extra yoyim is going to get you a total naziris. Now the Gemara makes it zushtal now. When you say 1 extra day, 1 extra word, it gives you a whole naziris to a sugya in Masechta Baba Basra Hamoichers Habayis. There's a halacha when we sell a house, it's pretty you write in the contract exactly what you're selling. So they would write if you sold a house, you did not sell the water supply. If you have a well or some type of water cistern where you keep water, that was not part of the sale. The question is the derech to get to part of the sale or not? In other words, would the owner of the well have to buy a derech to get them not? Was that part of the sale when you sold the house, or no? It was left over with the well. So says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. This din of Rav shows that the word chutz, the word 1 gives you a whole lot, a whole new naziris. That extra word, Rav Savala Rabbi Akiva. Rav is of the opinion he was like Rabbi Akiva. The Dorish Lishna Yisera. He dashes the extra word. Did none. If someone sells a house, guys, what's not included in the sale? Layas abur, layas adus, whether it's above ground water pit or adus, I don't know, something, also type of water cistern, right? It's not part of the sale. And afa pisha koisav lay, and even if he wrote in the star, aimka of the depths, the roima and the airspace, it's still not part of the sale. And therefore, b'tzarech lichalei derech, and therefore the seller who sold it is going to have to buy a derech to get to what? To get to his water system. No. The owner of the house now owns the area around there. And since he owns the area around there, he's going to have to pay the buyer is going to have to pay now to get to his bar. He doesn't have to. The question is whether a person sells, does he sell buying off or buying rav, when he has a good mind or not a good mind. However, why do Kiva bisman shalom lechutz me'elu? He says except the water system, right? What does that extra word chutz go? Shein et tzarich lichol derech. That means what? That if he put in the words that I'm selling you the house except the water cistern, the bar, then he would not even Rabbi Kiva would be moida. He doesn't have to buy a path. Why? Because that word chutz was kind of the path. So too that extra word yoim would give him a whole new naziris. Thank you for listening, everyone.